Hey, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to take this time, came back from Brazil 2-3 weeks ago, and while I was there I was taking notes of exactly what I did wrong and what I would do different next time I go down there, because there will be a next time. It's that fabulous. But I wanted to share with you 12 things that I have made serious note of that I would do different this next time that I go. Hey, the first thing that I would do different, I actually did this, but I almost didn't. Make sure that you bring 2 8-weight rods, or an 8 and a 9-weight rod, as well as a 10-weight. 10-weight for Arapaima. You're likely to break, or in case of my cousin, he lost an 8-weight rod on the second to last day. I think it bounced out of the boat, but at any rate, make sure that you got yourself covered with a couple of 8-weights or an 8 and a 9-weight. Chances are somebody else is going to have one, but you're going to want to make sure that you've got those. I brought a 5-weight too, rarely used it. I think at the end of the day, you're too tired to fish for pacu back at the lodge, but I would definitely bring at least 2 8-weight rods. I brought a 9-weight, used it a lot. I prefer the 8-weight down there, and that's probably what you're going to use the most. The second thing that make sure that you do is bring a set of boga grips, and make sure that you keep those boga grips on you. You've either got a flotation device on it, or preferably you hook it to yourself. Here's what happened with us. We didn't have 2 in the boat. I didn't bring one because I just really didn't think they were going to be necessary. Wrong. Make sure that you've got your own, so you should have 2 in the boat, plus the guide's got his. It takes a lot for that guide to get off of the holding platform down to pick up your 15-pound fish. He's going to come down for the larger ones. The smaller ones, he's not. Early on, first couple of days, you're going to be grabbing them with a boga grip almost exclusively. We actually lost a boga grip, probably lost a fish in the process because it shook like crazy. Took it out of the hands and off to the bottom they went. So sad for the fish. At the end of the day, bring your own set of boga grips. So the third thing is more of a healthcare issue. I noticed this towards the last couple of days before I left. It's recommended that you bring a Zithromax or a Z-Pack with you, because you're in the jungle. You're out there. Something goes south, you're not gonna have anything, and a Z-Pack can do wonders to ease you along. I brought one, but before you even got there, one of the guys got sick, and he was nasty sick that he got in Texas before he showed up on the trip. We fixed him right up with a Z-Pack, but I was kind of hoping that things didn't go south during the whole trip. Luckily for me, they didn't, but I would bring a couple of them. Call your doctor, tell him what you're doing. You're in the middle of the Amazon. You're a 2-hour flight away from anywhere. They can do wonders for you. It is an amazing thing to be able to have that, and it can knock out a lot of stuff. Maybe not the viruses, but it can knock out a lot of bacterial infections which you can get down there. I would definitely bring at least 1, preferably 2. Bring some Benadryl and some anti-itch cream, or even Afterbite. I got hit by a spider the first night I was there, and it bothered me the entire trip. There's a lot of stuff that comes at you. I would definitely bring some Afterbite and make sure that you've got some Benadryl. Unless you're a serious birder, think about what you can bring that you can give as gifts to the guides. These guys are working their asses off for you, and I brought a number of things, including swag from my channel. Gave out a lot of stuff. They appreciated it, and I think it's really cool to be able to showcase that you're thinking of them in advance. I gave out pliers and flies and other things that they're just not readily available for them, particularly in the fishing gear. Think about that, bring a bunch of it along, and give your guides stuff on top of tipping them generously. So the next item that I would advise you to do, and it's something that I didn't do enough, I was told to, and of course I was too lazy to really appreciate how important it was going to be, but learn a little bit of Portuguese. You're going to bring a Google Translate. you're going to have that, but it's not always going to be there. Some of the basics, thank you, left, right, where is, how's the fish. These guys expect you to speak a little bit of it just as much as you expect them to speak some English. It would go a long way if you knew a little bit of the basics of Portuguese. Get to Manaus at least 2 days before, if not 3. There's plenty of stuff to do there, but if you are a day late, your trip is done. We had an instance where the guys coming out of Missoula this time were snowed in, then they had all the bad things come together into a situation where they barely made it the night before, and they were supposed to be there 2 days before. So it is absolutely critical that you get there 2 days before, if not 3. Next time I go, I'll be there 3 days and I'll figure out some stuff to do. I tied almost 100 flies before I left. Most of them I didn't use. Most of them the guides looked at and just rolled their eyes. I caught a lot of fish on my flies. Almost all of the fish were on my flies, but there were a few patterns, and I even tied some more while I was down there when I realized what was going to work. Get about 6 to 10 patterns from your outfitter, and those are the flies that work. And the guides are going to look at it and they're going to say, yeah, pick this. Great story. The first day out, I had literally 60 or 70 flies in a box that was in front of them. 3 of them were patterns that were tied by Blackfoot outfitters. These guides picked out those 3 flies and loaded up my rod with it. I was humiliated. I would encourage you to only tie patterns that are proven patterns. You can probably catch fish on just about anything, but these guides, I mean, every one of them's got their own little pattern, but they'll take something that they know or that they've seen. One of the most important things that I learned is you better be able to hit a pie plate at 60 feet. Some of these guides are gonna need you to be able to cast 70, 80 feet and be fairly accurate with it. You gotta be able to double haul. You gotta be able to throw into the wind or with the wind or side wind. It's really critical that at a minimum you hit 60 feet and you can hit a pie plate and no wind. And you gotta be able to double haul. If you're going to Agua Boa, don't bring 5 sets of pants and 5 different shirts plus a dress shirt or anything. Nothing's fancy. You're gonna want 2, maybe 3 sets of shirts and pants that you're gonna wanna wear. And you better bring 2 or 3 hooded shirts, because you'll get sunburned if you don't have a hooded shirt. You don't have to overdo it because they do your laundry every single day. So 2 sets will work, and the space that you save, you're gonna be able to bring some other things instead of all clothing that you might bring on a different trip. The last item that I would tell you, and there's probably a dozen more things that I would tell you, but just for brevity, make sure that you bring an adapter for your phone charger, and make sure it's a Brazilian adapter. I travel to Europe a lot, so I've got Europe adapters. They don't work there. Nobody told me that, and I wasn't smart enough to look. So go online, order a Brazilian adapter. Just want to thank everybody for humoring me on this video and the other videos I've posted on this trip. I've been to a lot of places. This is top 5 for sure. Just a fantastic, unforgettable trip. Thank John Herzer for taking me with Blackfoot River Outfitters. Fish were incredible, and it's every bit of an adventure that you thought. And like and subscribe, as always. See you in the next video.